What's up, everyone? Champions back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC Fight Night Vegas, Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Very excited for this card. Actually, a lot of really good fights on it. We will be there. We will be there. I'm very, very excited about it. But as always, we have to go ahead and reflect off of how we did last time. So let's go ahead and do that. Bam. So this is how I did on Moreno versus Urseg, Mexico City card. Pretty good. The main bets I really needed to cash ended up cashing, which was awesome. Which was Lupi Godinez, David Martinez mainly. Like those are the biggest ones I really needed. So that felt really good. So yeah, let's go through each one of these. In order of when they happened in the card. I believe my first one was Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. I put a little bit on Jamal Emmers to win by like TKO, KO. Yeah, that's about how I thought it would go. Got very scary early on with Miranda getting a quick takedown and getting to a really good position to sub Emmers. I was like, oh my god, Jamal Emmers, dang it. But props to Jamal Emmers. I think it's one of the first times we really seen him have like good fight IQ where he got back up and he tried to keep fight standing. I was like super worried about like he's gonna try and wrestle this dude. He didn't. So props to him. Yeah, on the feet was just completely wash. It's a complete wash because Miranda just has terrible striking defense, if I'm being honest. He's willing to scrap. Shout out to him for that, but yeah, Emmers just so much better in the feet. Got the TKO. Good win. The next fight I had to bet on, I think, is Lupita Godinez. That was my biggest bet of the card. I was very confident going in, and I felt really good. With how the fight was playing out. Weird what was going on in the fight, where in her corner after round 2, she clearly won rounds 1 and 2. It was no problem at all. She's like, I need to poop. And I was like, what? What is this? And I think that might have played a role in like her kind of slowing down in round 3. But she stayed in there, stayed tough, absolute war. It was a great fight. Yeah, Lupi Godinez able to get takedowns, no problem. And a lot of things I was mentioning in the last week's prediction video, I think I got on point. I knew that Julia Pilastri was not going to have the same forward pressure that she needs to have in order to win. She needs forward pressure. She's going to win. If she does not have forward pressure, not going to be able to do it. And she doesn't have the most volume either. And you could see that in round 3 where maybe like other girls who have like that high pressure style and have more volume, maybe they do some like serious damage to Lupi there, but it's just a lot of looping shots, like funny Lupi. Talking about Lupi Godinez looping shots, but it's just a bunch of looping shots. It's just nothing crazy that's gonna really do anything to derail Lupita Godinez. And yeah, the wrestling was there. Pilastri didn't have get-ups. Exactly how I thought the fight would go. I thought it'd be a little more dominant, but like in rounds 1 and 2, it looked like how I totally expected the fight. In round 3, I'm just happy Lupi played it smart, didn't do anything dumb. She knew she banked the first 2 rounds, so I was very happy about that. So shout out to Lupi Godinez. Was very bullish on her. That was my biggest bet of the card, and very happy about that. The next fight I had a bet on, I believe, was David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. I had a bet on. No, I'm wrong. Kevin Borjas versus Luis Rodriguez, Lazy Boy. I'm so disappointed in myself. Although I shouldn't, because honestly, this was a pretty good bet. I had a Borjas to win by TKO. I just put 0.1. I didn't want to trust him like that much, but I wanted to have like some sort of bet. He hurt him so bad so many times. Oh man, I couldn't believe it, and I was surprised. The approach Lazy Boy had, I could not believe what he was doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why he didn't grapple like very much. He could have probably grappled Borjas and got him tired. I mean, I picked Borjas to win, and I was like, this guy is kind of dumb. He's gonna stand with Borjas, and I thought Borjas would be able to maybe get a KO in round 1. I mean, he almost did. Almost in like all the rounds. He landed big shots on Lazy Boy, and Lazy Boy pops at him. He's got a good chin. Um, but not good fight IQ. Not good fight IQ. I ended up live betting it though. On Borjas, I was like, no, I have to. There's no way, especially after round two when it was like the odds were surprisingly all right. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. He's clearly won rounds 1 and 2. Clearly won rounds 3-2, round 3 as well. So great win by Borjas. Very happy. I'm a Borjas believer, and that felt so good. Felt so good to get that. So. Not on here on tracked wise, which sucks, but I got it right prediction wise. So shout out to him. Now we get to David Martinez. I had David Martinez minus 3.5 spread. I was pretty confident that he would blow Simon Oliveira out the water, and boy did he! Boy did he! Simon Oliveira didn't really have anything. He didn't really have much to offer, to be honest with you, and because of that, David Martinez absolutely lit him up. Just a complete discrepancy on the fee. It was not even close. So yeah, it was a good win by Martinez. He looked great. I do like him. I like his prospects in the future. I'm not sure how good he's gonna do, but it's a wait and see kind of thing. I do think he's pretty good, and depending on the matchups, I think can make evaluations of how good he is as we keep going. But I do like what I see so far. Then I had Drew Dober to win inside the distance. I didn't go crazy on it. I saw a lot of people putting pretty nice bets on Dober. I was like, I'm a little scared, but I do want to be on Dober. And yeah, I ended up losing. She got caught. We got caught by Torres. Torres has a lot of power, a lot of athleticism and explosiveness, especially early on. And Dober just got hit by that. So yeah, fair stoppage, although probably a little late. It probably should have been stopped a little early. But I can understand in the ref's position, it's a little tough. But yeah, Dober got caught. It's not much you can really say. And I had a bet on Steve Erceg to beat Brandon Moreno. I didn't go that crazy on this one either. I was surprised with the scorecards. It was 4-1, 4 rounds to Moreno, 1 to Erceg. I thought it was 3-2 Moreno. I think that would have been fair. But even then, I thought there was a lot of close rounds that maybe a judge could edge one way or another. But it's not like I'm calling for robbery or anything like that. But I thought Steve Erceg competed. So shout out to Erceg. He's been getting tough matchups. I still got a lot of belief in him. I still think he's really good. But man, Brandon Moreno fought. I didn't think either really fought that well, to be honest with you. Brandon Moreno, it looked like he was missing most of the time. Sure, he's having maybe the more impactful shots and stuff like that, but it's a lot of the time felt like it was hitting the shoulder. Well, Erceg was there to get hit at points. He got hurt in round 1, clearly. And Erceg was landing some nice shots, but they were more pitter-patter kind of things. So they just didn't have as much of an impact, even if Moreno's not necessarily landing the cleanest on Erceg throughout the fight. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not going to complain Erceg got robbed. Nothing like that. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to make that bet at plus 220, 210. Was completely fine with that. So yeah, very well. And now let's get on to Tapology to look at the rest of the picks I had on the card. I did pretty good on picks wise on this card. I went 9 of 13. Wait, what? 9-12. I can't read. So yeah, let's go through each one. Markel Medeiros, Reese Austin Hubbard. This was pretty close, to be honest. And honestly, I think Hubbard kind of fumbled this. He kind of had this in the bag and lost position in round 3 and just didn't do damage in round 3 to outdo what Medeiros was able to do at the end of round 3. Just land some shots on Hubbard, and that was enough to win the fight. Yeah, I'm not crazy about Medeiros. I don't think he's that great. He's kind of skidded by in a few of these fights, and I'm not so sure about him. I do like he's at MMA Lab. MMA Lab, he's gonna get better. But yeah, it's a wait and see kind of thing. They gotta take him slow. Talked about Jamal Emmers, Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. Kind of what I expected. Vince Pichel did a good job competing, but to me, Rafa Garcia hit the better shots throughout, and because of that, he won the fight. And I don't really think there's much else to talk about with that one. I thought him winning was fair. Talk about that one. Mel Costa versus Christian Rodriguez. I went with Rodriguez to win. I'm so happy I listened to myself. I am so happy I listened to myself not betting Christian Rodriguez. Because after getting burned as much as I did last time against Rosa at high elevation, I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I can't trust him here. I was glad to. Glad not to. Mel Costa looked really good. Um, he outworked Christian Rodriguez in the feet and just did more damage. I thought he won pretty clearly rounds 1 and 2. And it's like, oh my god, come on, C-Rod, get me round 3, get me round 3. I like got a bet on him, but I like C-Rod a lot. And he's just not enough. He was doing good in round 3. The takedown was there all the time on Mel Costa, but not able to do enough damage throughout the fight. So, yeah, props to Mel Costa. Good run he's on, especially now after getting a win on Seattle against Philly. Now, pretty quick turnaround against C-Rod. He's in a good spot in the division, so shout out to him. Ateba Gautier versus Josie Medina. Yeah, this was a murder. Yeah, I ended up going with Gautier. It's like, okay, Medina's been surviving and stuff like that, and it's very possible it goes long. But yeah, Ateba just hits different. He hits different for the weight class. Nasty work. Great win by him. I do like that he trains with Lerone Murphy. So, shout out to him. Talked about this one. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I ended up going with Raul Rosas Jr., but I was like, if there's a bet to make on the fight, it's like Vince Morales live, and I did make that bet. I bet him after getting taken down in round 2, and the odds were like insane. It was like plus, I don't even remember, but it was like 19,000, 14,000 type thing, something of that sort. Didn't hit, of course, but like round 3, I was like, come on, get me some random sub, and oh man, I wish that was like fully in. I don't think it was like fully in, like was it like a Darce or something like that? And he added like a few times where it's like he was getting into position, even though I'm not even sure how like the choke would work, because I don't think he was necessarily doing it right. But props to Raul, did what he needed to do to win in rounds 1 and 2, and out wrestled Vince Morales and kept himself safer in round 3. So props to him. Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. In like retrospect, like, why did I pick Chairez to win a decision, not like by a finish of some sort? Great finish by Chairez. He looked good. Yeah, CJ Vergara his durability is not the same. It feels like Chairez is able to crack him pretty early and find a finish through the sub, like a rear naked choke. I mean, it's just a great performance of Chairez. I'm not super high on Chairez still, but because it's CJ Vergara. Okay, so what? I mean, good to finish him early. That is impressive, but yeah, I'm not so crazy about Chairez, but great performance. You can't take that away from him. So yeah, that's my picks for last week. Did pretty well, and let's hope we can do well this week. First fight of the card: Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alencar. I'm going Demopoulos. I think she can win a decision, although low key she could maybe get like some finish late, but I'll go decision. I get the angle with Talita Alencar, like picking her to win and stuff like that. I totally get it, because Demopoulos gets taken down. She just does. Her takedown defense is not good. And also to give some credit to Talita Alencar, her losses, or not losses, but like draw and loss to Stephanie Luciano. She's really good. She is pretty good. And like a much bigger girl than like Vanessa is. And I think like Dos Santos kind of same thing. She shouldn't have won that fight though. I'm pretty sure Dos Santos should have won that fight. I don't think Alencar is good. Maybe she can get us up here, but I don't think so. I think Vanessa will do a good job keeping herself safe. Amarim's, I think, is a much better jiu-jitsu player than Talita Alencar. And such a big problem I have with Talita Alencar, she's one of these fighters that is going to get takedowns, but she does nothing with them. It's going to be similar. I think it's very possible it could be similar to the Kanako Murata fight, where I know a lot of people say it's a robbery. I actually did score Vanessa, and I know that's a very, very big hot take, and like maybe she shouldn't have won that, but she does work off her back, and that kind of stuff can make a difference. Talita Alencar's cardio is not good at all either. I think she's gonna get paced in round 3, 100%. I think that happens very, very likely. So with Vanessa is just, I think she's gonna put it on her in round 3, and I think with judges in Vegas, they love the work she does on her back. She does damage. She absolutely does. I think that's gonna play a role, and I think that actually will matter and will get her a decision. And I think people will be mad. There's a good chance people will be mad about it. I will say this though: do not bet Vanessa Demopoulos before the fight starts. Better after she gets taken down. She's going to get taken down. She's going to get taken down. She's going to get taken down. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And she can still win. She can absolutely still win. But you're going to get a better number if you live bet her. So do that. Do that instead of betting her at, what odds is she even at right now? -108. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bet her live. I think it's a good live bet spot for Vanessa Demopoulos. Martin Budai versus Uran Sata. Oh my god, Sata Baldiev. Sata Baldiev. I'm probably not even pronouncing that right, but yeah. This is disgusting. I don't know who to pick in this one. I've heard from some people that Uran is good. I've heard from some people Uran is terrible. I don't know. Budai's okay. Like I think I speak of Budai a little higher than like most people, but it's not like I'm like high on him. I was considering picking him over Kennedy just because I was like, Kennedy's due to make some dumb thing to happen, and I don't think he's gonna be ultra uber successful in heavyweight all the way up. Maybe he'll get a loss on the way. So I was like tempted to go on Budai, but it's tough. Like. I think I'm gonna go Budai, and I think he's gonna win decision. There's a big discrepancy in the weights, which I think will probably matter. I think Uran's live to get grappled against the fence as Budai does. I think it's gonna be boring. I'd probably look at like an over of some kind, maybe over 2.5 -125. I don't hate that because I know Uran does a great job of surviving somehow, and he's kind of surprising he's not been finished. Am I gonna track that or something like that? No, and I'm probably not even gonna like bet it. I'm just being flat out. But if I had to give something, gun to my head, probably the over instead of trusting any of these guys, because I don't think probably either are worth trusting. I'm going Budai, but I have very, very little confidence. I didn't really tape run that much, so like I don't know if I have much of a good opinion to give on this, so I'm just gonna move on. If Budai has been still training with like that team Aspinall, like Aspinall, Parkin, and such, there's a chance he's making improvements, but from what I've seen in social media, I've just not seen him do that. So I don't know. So maybe he's not making improvements. It's hard to know. Give me Budai to win a decision. That's probably going to be not so fun, but yeah. Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao. I think this is going to be a typical Henry fight. Give me Henry by decision. I think he's going to out-volume Pedro Falcao. I think his takedown defense is going to be good. The grappling is good for Victor Henry, usually. I think him getting subbed by Jourdain is kind of him being... I was like, he's not going to sub me by guillotine or whatever choke. It might have been ninja choke. Like, I remember I heard like Liam Pick's fight saying it was like a ninja choke, which shout out to him. He's the man. But besides the point, I think Victor Henry does have really good grappling. Pedro Falcao can keep a pace for three rounds. I'm not like worried about that. I know on his first fight against Victor Hugo has short notice, so I'm not going to hold that against him. But I just think this is kind of a bad matchup for Henry, or not for Falcao, I should say. So I think Henry just does a really good job at keeping balance, fighting smart. It's just kind of what Henry does. I like him to win a decision. I don't think he's really got sub ability or KO ability, honestly, against a guy like Falcao. It has to be someone like Ronnie Yaya where he can get a finish. But even then, it's just not so much. If you want to play it safe, let me check. Is there like a round 3 decision? -150 Henry. I don't hate that. That's okay. Because I really, really don't think it gets a finish round 1 and 2. That'd be crazy. I think that could be like a parlay piece, to be honest with you. So yeah, give me Victor Henry round 3 or decision. Like round 3 is to keep it safe, but if you play decision, I think you'll be completely fine, if I'm honest. Although with how Henry fights, it can be like kind of close. So maybe like it happens to be a split decision, so it could be dicey. So I could totally understand being like very worried about that. But yeah, more six strikes too. I think more six strikes is pretty safe for Victor Henry as well. I will say that as well. So yeah, well, I'll talk about six strikes later on, of course, but I felt like mentioning that. Loma Lookboonmee versus Estela Nunes. Okay, I love Estela Nunes. I want to pick her. I don't think I can. I will go decision. So I'll give a little bit of credit to her. But I think she's live. I do think Estela Nunes is live, and I'm probably going to be willing to bet her if I'm honest with you. Yeah, like this line has been getting insane, and it makes no sense. This isn't a fight where it makes sense to have the line like this. I love both these girls. Both are Muay Thai girls. I love that Estela Nunes is at ATT, American Top Team. That's great. That's absolutely fantastico. We like to see that. And maybe at ATT she's gotten a lot better. Maybe she has cardio now. The biggest problem with Estela Nunes is her cardio is garbage. It's bad. And Loma really should cook her in rounds 2 and 3, like consistently. Maybe round 1 as well. She's live to do that as well. But Estela's really good in round 1s, to be fair. Estela's good. She's not that bad. I was gonna pick her against Molly McCann. I was. Maybe I would have been right. But I think I don't think it could be that wrong going with like a big underdog shot on Estela Nunes. She's not that bad. She's pretty all right. Losing to like Sam Page, no shame. Carnelossi, I mean, it's Carnelossi. I mean, I like Carnelossi, and this was 3 years ago, Carnelossi, so I don't think that's the end of the world. Haragui, she was doing all right in that fight, but again, she like kind of gassed and stuff like that. That's kind of what it is. Haragui, skill for skill, is really good. And Victoria Dudikova, freak injury. That I don't take anything from that at all. I'm kind of tempted to pick Estela, but I just can't. Loma's really good. I do like Loma. She could probably out grapple Estela, and if she takes that approach, she could probably make this look pretty easy. But yeah, I think Estela is going to do some good work. There's a possible ARB opportunity where you go in Estela pre-fight, and then you can maybe get some like better odds on Loma live. I think there's a possibility of that. Would I bank on it? Maybe not, but there's a chance. Yeah, I think Estela is live though. I think she is live. Maybe by like KO round 1 and 2 is not the craziest thing ever for Estela, because that's kind of how she is. But I think she's live. I do think she's live. So I'm going to say that, and I'm probably going to have like a bet on her. It's not going to be a big bet. It's going to be a small one, just to see, like probably like 0.1. But I want to say I bet her because I love Estela. I remember, this is kind of a biased take from me, because, well, not biased, because I do have like reasons for like why, because the odds are crazy. But she said hello to me when I was at the UFC Orlando when she fought Haragui. It really left an impression on me. So I've always loved Estela. I don't think she's bad again, and I do think there's proof in the pudding. She's done good in fights before. Like, the worry is the layoff, the injury, of course, because of the Dudikova fight. But I just think the odds are crazy. So, yeah. Reese McKee versus Daniel Frunza. I don't even know where to go with this fight. I'm not going to go Reese McKee decision. Maybe sub is live, because I don't think Frunza's his grappling is good at all, to be honest. But it's hard to tell. Reese McKee does have the competition like advantage. Like, he's been fighting good dudes in the UFC, like Ange Lusa. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. But even then, like around 3, he kind of got Lusa pretty good. And Chidi and Njokuani, that was not a split. That was clear Njokuani. Don't get that twisted. It's a Chidi and Njokuani truther. But he didn't get killed. He didn't get killed like Jared Gooden and Zaleski Dos Santos did. So, props to that. I just think Reese McKee is just so durable, and I think that durability is going to play a factor in he can win like that. He can maybe win. I mean, it's just tough, because the problem with one of the biggest problems with Reese McKee is it doesn't feel like he's fighting to win at times. It really doesn't feel like that. With Daniel Frunza, you don't have to worry about that. He's going to fight to win. It's just, I do think it's a big step down in comp for Reese McKee. I've not been super impressed by Frunza, to be honest with you. But I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted. I'm tempted to bet Reese, but there's something in my head telling me I probably shouldn't. If I bet Reese, he'll be small, but I'm very scared. Maybe I'll bet him like more takedowns. I actually kind of like that. I kind of like more takedowns, Reese McKee. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that because I think he'll be the only one trying to wrestle at any point in the fight. So if anyone wrestles, so if I'm gonna probably bet anything on this fight, it'll probably be that. Because I do think he's live to get some wrestling going and maybe even get a submission. Like I said, I think that's possible. I think he's gonna be durable and outlast Frunza and win like that. Honestly, so. Give me Reese McKee back against the wall. He needs this win. He needs this win. So, yeah, I'll go Reese McKee. Dione Barbosa versus Diana Belbita. I hate the matchmakers for making this fight. I love Diana Belbita so much. I love this girl. She got robbed against Glory DePaula. I will die in my grave saying that. Go to my grave saying that is what the phrase actually means. Actually is. It's clear as day Dione Barbosa submission. Like, probably round 1 even. I wouldn't bet it, though. I wouldn't bet at these odds, though. I bet Dione Barbosa very early on because it's like, oh, Dione's going to win this. This is disgusting matchmaking. Not disgusting because they want to give Dione a win. I get it. She did the UFC a favor having Dione step in on short notice against Miranda Maverick. Shout out Miranda there. I love Miranda Maverick, and I had a big bet on her in that fight, so shout out to my girl Miranda. I was very, very confident in her against Dione, but looked pretty good. Besides the point, it's just Belbita's going up a weight class against a girl who's gonna absolutely out. What do you want to call it? Like, the biggest hole in Belbita's game, Dione Barbosa can easily implement into her game like that. It's just gonna be no problem for her, and because of that, it's kind of. What is there to say? I think the price tag that Barbosa has is kind of fair. As disgusting as it is, minus 1,100, something like that, minus 1,000. It's probably gonna look like that, especially if she grapples. Goodness gracious, it's gonna be bad. And she does grapple. She does grapple. Maybe there's like worries about like gas tank because round 3 Barbosa does slow down. But even then, like if she gets her down, Belbita's not gonna do anything. Barbosa's a big 125. She's huge, muscles for days. Unless she's fighting against like Miranda Maverick, she's gonna have that advantage against girls. I don't think Belbita's gonna have what she needs to do what she needs to win. Yeah, and even on the feet, Dione Barbosa is super explosive. Obviously don't want her to be on the feet with Belbita. I mean, that's Belbita's like only chance to win. But it does feel like Belbita's also checked out. It does feel like that, and it hurts my soul because I love this girl. But yeah, it's Barbosa all day. Robert Valentin versus Torres Finney. I like Valentin, and you know what? I was originally gonna go sub, but I'll go KO, and I'll tell you why. Because I listened to an interview, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna trust him on this word. And like in his interview, he's like, is a striker versus grappler. I'm gonna strike with him. Okay, I'm gonna change my thing to KO. But I was originally definitely gonna go sub because I think it's live. Going it, like, I understand the view, like Torres Finney. Oh, Valentin got taken down by Loader, and it's gonna be like that. Finney, big body. He's bumped Lerone win. He's bumped Lerone win, to be honest with you. Which I don't think is a great thing. He's super green. Torres Finney's super green. I think that has a chance to bite him in the butt here. Like, sure, he might be able to get his wrestling going, but even then, I don't think he's gonna finish Valentin. I think Valentin's gonna put up subs on bottom if he gets there, and his jiu-jitsu is sneaky. It's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world, by no means. But it's like it's one of those things where we've not been doing MMA long enough, like jiu-jitsu long enough, which I don't think Finney has. He's still really green. I think there's a chance he can catch you. Absolutely. And maybe get a sweep he can get on top and do damage. Valentin does damage, and I like that. I think there's legitimate questions about Torres Finney's cardio. I know he's able to do what he's done for like 3 rounds. He's able to do it, but what if his opponent's doing damage on bottom? He's not making his life easy. I think there's really huge concerns about the cardio, especially in his I believe his second Dana White Contender Series fight. It's just not a great look. And that guy was not even good. Not even that good. So I think a guy like Valentin, Swiss Erie as I like to call him, especially on the feet. On the feet is such a big discrepancy. It's Valentin all day, and the size discrepancy is huge. One thing I love that I heard from Valentin, he was with the Hickman brothers. He's with the Hickman brothers this camp. If you don't know who the Hickman brothers are, these are the same people who got Alexander Volkanovski ready for Islam Makhachev, his wrestling. Same people. These are the same people who got Zhang Weili ready for Tatiana Suarez in the wrestling. And also, like, they got Zhang Weili's wrestling to be as good as it was, like in the Lemos fight, like where she absolutely dog walked Lemos and just wrestled for days. Or the Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight as well. Those guys can change people's grappling and wrestling mainly. I like that. I love that for Valentin. And when I heard that, it's like, okay, I have to be on Valentin. Absolutely. And I always liked Valentin. I liked him a lot on The Ultimate Fighter. Thought it was going to be Loader, but he didn't. I think I trust him to stay in the fight, and I think he can do damage. And I have trust in him to do damage. A bet I like on this fight is, what is it called? Robert Valentin, fight winner inside the distance only. And like if it goes to decision, it voids. I think Torres Finney's biggest whatchamacallit, like win equity. His biggest win equity is decision. I don't think he's gonna get Valentin out of there. I don't think he's gonna be looking. And there was in that Valentin interview, the interviewer, like I don't remember what was like the name of the. But it was if you look up Robert Valentin interview and look for most recent one, you'll find it. In that, like he mentioned that Torres Finney said there's not as much pressure in the UFC, like once you're in the UFC in comparison to the Dana White Contender Series, because you don't have to be as exciting. That to me tells me he's not going to be trying to do any dumb stuff to try and get a finish. That's what that tells me. So I think Finney's probably going to go try to get this fight to decision, not do anything dumb. He's going to be willing to lay on Valentin, and I think that's very possible. So, you know what? I think Valentin is live to get a finish. I like that. He's a very dangerous individual. Very dangerous. I mean, if you saw stuff he did in Tough, I'm not even talking about the fights. I mean, in the fights, I mean, nasty guy in the cage. It's gonna be hell for you. It's what was it? What was his stage phrase? Like, life or Valhalla or something like that. Valhalla or something like that. I don't remember the exact phrase. I'm actually really want to look it up. Robert Valentin, because I want to get this right. Valhalla, victory or Valhalla, something like that. He's willing to die in there, and I you know what, I like that, and I think that's a great way to play the fight. I think another good way to play the fight is the spread plus 3.5 Robert Valentin. I think he can get around. I think he can, although I think that could be a little more risky. I think with the fight wins inside the distance, I think that's most of Valentin's win equity, because I think he's more likely finishing this fight as opposed to winning a decision if he's going to be winning. So I think that's very live, and I like that. I like that for Valentin. So give me him to win this fight. I got belief in him. Give me Robzilla. Luis Garule versus Ode Osborne. Here we go. This is my biggest bet of the card. Or is it? It actually might be Dione technically, but I'm not even considering Dione because it's like I think it's pretty easy. I'd be shocked if she loses, but yeah, I like Garule. I think he's gonna finish Ode late. I love this guy Garule. I think he's top 15 level flyweight already. I think he's that dude. When I did a video about like the year-end reflection, and year-end reflection is like my favorite title fights, my favorite bets, like my best bets, my worst bets. Fights I'm looking forward to. Shevchenko versus Fiorot. Very excited for that one. But I had a portion of it where I was talking about Dana White Contender Series people, like my favorite prospects, and like people that haven't fought already. Like I didn't want to include Loner Kavanaugh because that's like boring. That's boring. And the two people I had on there was Mario Pinto. Shout out to him. I love that guy. And Luis Garule. These were the two guys that like stood out to me who hadn't fought yet out of Dana White Contender Series. I love this guy, Garule. I love the pace he puts on. I think he's got nice striking. I love his takedown defense. Takedown defense is great. He can wrestle too. He's got a college wrestling background. I wish he used it more. He's a very tough guy, and he's gonna be trying to go to war with dudes. It is a worry, like against Ode, like he could get caught. He's been caught before. Not been finished, of course, but because he's undefeated. Again, it's possible to happen, but I don't think it's likely. Like with Ode is just it's just constant disappointment. Sadly, I love Ode too, but I just think this is the kind of fight Garule is gonna thrive, especially if we get out of round one. And this might be a good live betting opportunity. Like maybe there's a chance you get Garule after round one. Maybe if Ode hurts him, and like you get in live and he absolutely smashes Ode as the fight goes on. I think it's possible. But at the same time, do I? I don't think so. I think Garule's gonna win round one. If, in my personal opinion, I don't think that opportunity is gonna happen. I think Luis Garule is that good. He's gonna be much better than Ode. If he implements the wrestling gear, he's gonna look so good. And even if he doesn't, I still think he can absolutely work Ode. Yeah. I love the guys he's training with. Brandon Royval in that camp at Factory X or not Factory X. It's not Factory X anymore. It's confusing. I don't know. But it's a really good camp still. Because those fighters have been winning. Like, I think in his specific camp, he's with Royval, Zalal, Hernandez, Alexander Hernandez, etc. Yeah, I love me some Luis Garule. I think he's gonna probably get a late finish. I don't hate those odds for that. Let me actually take a look. I'm very, very curious on these odds for that. Like a late finish for Garule. I mean, or just a finish in general, plus 500 on K. I don't hate that. Wins inside the distance. Oh, wait, that's for Ode. My bad. Plus 225. Nah. Inside the distance, plus 140. I don't hate that, although I'm not so crazy about that. Maybe like Garule rounds 2-3 KO. Play a little bit on that, or 2-3 submission. I don't hate that either. As like a small place, but I think his money line is fine. I'm willing to eat the chalk on this one. Yeah, give me Garule. Jeremy Mearshart versus Brad Tavares. This fight has been getting crazy line movement. And I also have to say, I think people are kind of crazy about this fight. I don't get it. I don't get it. Give me Brad Tavares. I think I'll win a decision. I've been hearing everyone this week be on GM3. I don't get it. I just think the takedowns aren't going to be there. I get it. Brad Tavares has been getting taken down. It gotten taken down by like Jun Young Park. Okay, Jun Young Park's really good. I don't think people are giving Jun Young Park the credit he deserves. He is really good. Jeremy Mearshart is nowhere. That doesn't have speed, and I think that's going to be such a big difference here against Brad Tavares. I know GM3 striking is underrated. It's okay. It's getting better. But still, I think it's not enough against Brad Tavares. I know Brad Tavares is not the same guy he used to be, but I think it's just such a stylistic problem for GM3 that it kind of doesn't matter. I hope this line keeps coming in on GM3, because if it does, I'm probably going to put a play on Tavares. Maybe nothing crazy, because I'm kind of worried. Maybe it's some kind of injury going on. But I don't see it going well for him. And if we go over his past fights, Reiner de Ritter, I mean, not the most shame. Like, Reiner's pretty all right. So I'm not even going to be like, oh, that's a bad loss. Not at all. Shabazian should have... Mark Smith saved him. I still stand by that. This should have been a TKO. Most other refs stopped that fight. But props to GM3 to stay with it and find a way to get a submission. But other refs stopped that fight. Brian Barberena, so what? So what? Andre Petrosky. I mean, that's fine. The Petrosky's all right. I rate him higher than probably most people. I did think Petrosky did enough to win, but I was like, it was close. It's totally fair. It was close. Joe Pyfer, I mean, no shame in that. But against Brad Tavares, Jun Young Park, I think Park is really good. RoboCop, really good. Chris Weidman, not good. He's not so good anymore. But honestly, I think he'd give GM3 a good fight, stylistically. Bruno Silva, not so good. GM3 beat him too, and that's one of his wins as well. Brad Tavares got caught, and there's a worry about the durability. I do have to say that there's a worry about durability, and going to a pretty close war with Dricus du Plessis. Not bad. I do have to say this, that Jung Young Park's fight was a split, and I thought it was close. I did think Park won, but it was close, and Jung Young Park is really good. He's really good. I think he's better than GM3 is now. So yeah, I like Brad Tavares to just outdo GM3 on the feet. I know people are like, oh, he's at Valley Flow, training with Bilal. So what? Like, I haven't seen like anything groundbreaking changes in GM3's game that makes me be like, yeah, he's made the stylistic adjustments to beat Brad Tavares. I just think the speed difference is just gonna kill. It's just gonna kill. Maybe not kill because it's probably not gonna get a DKO or anything like that. I just think, yeah, Brad Tavares should be able to do his thing. Brad Tavares won a decision plus 105. I think I might put a little bit on that, but I mean, he doesn't finish anyone, so that's probably the way to play it. So yeah, give me Brad Tavares to win this fight. Protavious Romius versus Shang-Ho Lee. Oh, I will say this though, maybe better than betting Tavares straight up. It might be just his significant strikes. I just don't think GM3 is going to be landing much on him. Even though Brad Tavares is not necessarily like the highest volume kind of guy, I just don't think GM3 is going to be landing the most, if I'm being honest with you. So, yeah. Anyways, Protavious Romius versus Shang-Ho Lee. I don't even know what to make of this. I'll go Romius. Maybe get like a submission early. He's super athletic, Romius. So I think that's like, I mean, maybe decision. He's so hard. I'll go submission. But Romius is so hard to trust. He's so hard to trust. His fight IQ is so bad, and he'll go for his stupid subs, and maybe he'll get them. Maybe he'll get them Chung-Ho Lee, but Chung-Ho Lee's kind of guy like fight out of them. I get it. I'll go decision. Maybe because of that, I'll go decision. It's gonna be greasy, I think, no matter what. I didn't think he beat Long. I really don't think he beat Long. I think athleticism is strong enough to beat Chung-Ho Lee, but I don't want to bet him. I really don't want to bet this guy. If I do, it would be very small. But the odds on him are just kind of gone. If it was early in the week, maybe I would have. But at the same time, like the weight miss, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It could be. It was a big weight miss. So that's something to consider. I have zero confidence in this. Like, no thanks. I would take Romius because I do think there's a chance the athleticism would be enough, and I just don't think Chung-Ho Lee is that great. Not Russian, Korean Khabib. I don't think he's that good. Yeah, I'll go Romius, but zero confidence. Joanderson Brito versus Pat Sabatini. I'm gonna go Brito KO round 1, but I will say this: it is a little worrisome because Pat Sabatini does have good grappling. He has a really good grappling. And we've seen Brito kind of been grappled before. It's happened. It's definitely happened a few times. It's a little worrisome. I will say this though, Brito has fight IQ deficiencies. I worry about him, about Pat Sabatini putting his head intentionally into a guillotine, and Brito, okay, it's guillotine time. I so see it, and I hate that. I hate that I see it because I think that's very, very possible, and it's like I can't do it with Brito like that. Probably some under is a good way to play this fight. I think Brito 1-2 is fine. Let's like round 1-2 KO. That's probably his win condition. I don't think he's going to be subbing Sabatini. He'd be really dumb to pull a guillotine or something like that. Which honestly, again, he probably will. He probably will. But I do think like Sabatini's a little bit fragile, and because of that, like I just see him getting cracked by Joe Anderson Brito. The hardware difference is huge. It's very huge, and I just think Brito finds a shot. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest probably betting his money line. I think Brito finish or something like that, or an under of some kind, is probably the way to play it if you're gonna play anything. So yeah, give me Brito. Not ultra confident. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. I love Lerone here. Oh my god, my PC. There we go. I'll go KO round 4. I know that's a little crazy. Wow, I'm picking Lerone Murphy to finish Josh Emmett when Ilia Topuria cannot finish him. That's the most MMA thing ever. Lerone Murphy finishing Josh Emmett, but Ilia Topuria couldn't. Don't tell me that's not the most MMA thing ever. It totally is. I think it's live though. I love Lerone Murphy, and I like him a lot because I think his minute winning equity is so much better than Josh Emmett. I know Josh Emmett has a good win rate in terms of decisions. He hits pretty hard. It's Lerone Murphy's a different level in terms of that. He's so good, Lerone Murphy, and I absolutely love this guy. He knows how to win. I think Josh Emmett's leg is going to get absolutely smoked in this fight. He's going to get smoked to that leg a few times. It's going to hurt him a lot, and he's not going to be having the same power. And even then, I want to mention that, like, the power, I think that's kind of limited to early in the fight in order to KO Murphy. Not like he can't win rounds later in fights, like round 4 and 5. Maybe he can win. Like, I don't know how he won against Cater hitting the guard. I don't even think he beat Ige. I'll say that too. He shouldn't have won those fights landing on the guard or whatever. But I mean, he hits hard, and you can see that. But it's not hard enough in those later rounds where you can put him out. And the worry for me in this fight for Lerone is just him getting put out early on. It's possible. It's always possible with Josh Emmett, or him getting wrestled. But Josh Emmett's just not been wrestled. He's not wrestled in forever. He's not done it. So I don't even think it's gonna happen. And I'm more worried about the wrestling than Lerone getting caught and like being put out. With Lerone Murphy, like I think he can get some wrestling going. In fact, maybe he can get a submission later on. I don't think that's impossible. If I'm being honest with you, he's been going for subs, and like Josh Emmett is susceptible to subs. I mean, if Yair Rodriguez can sub you, I mean, I'll give credit to Yair. I shouldn't say that. I'm being really disrespectful. Yair's pretty good submission game, but I think Lerone Murphy's submission game is kind of underrated. I know he's never got one before, but he's talked about wanting to get one. I don't think it's out of the question he can get one here. Yeah, I do want to say, Josh Emmett said something at the press conference where he's like, "Oh, I worked on my power, and I'm feeling the best I've ever felt, and it's like I hit harder than I ever did before." Okay, I don't get why he's working on his power when his power has already been one of his best parts of his game. Like, why? Why are you working on your power more when you can work on other parts of your game in MMA to get better? That just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Okay, whatever. I don't like the layoff for Josh Emmett. I don't like how he's 40 years old. I don't like that. Especially going against a young, budding contender in Lerone Murphy, who's in his prime right now. I know and I think a lot of people are gonna be looking at Dan Ige fight. Oh, Lerone Murphy got caught by Dan Ige. Oh, he's gonna get caught by Josh Emmett here. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think he knows the assignment here. He knows have to be careful with Emmett. Mind your P's and Q's. And I think that Ige's fight is kind of okay, I've learned my lesson type of thing. I have belief in that. And yeah, I think he's gonna put on Josh Emmett. I think he's gonna dominate. One thing I really like about Lerone Murphy here, his minus 5.5 line on the spread, which is, it keeps coming down, which I like. So I'm be looking out for that. But I like the minus 5.5 line on Lerone Murphy because to me, his biggest win equity is him dominating the fight. Because that's what Lerone Murphy does. He, like at worst, he's gonna lose a round or something like that, and then just keep winning rounds. I think he's gonna dominate the fight, and because of that, I like the plus 5.5 or minus 5.5, minus 5.5. And I do think he's live to get a finish. I don't think Josh Emmett's necessarily like the most durable thing ever. It's gonna go away eventually, and it's crazy because I do remember like after the Ilia Topuria fight, everyone was thinking this dude Josh Emmett was so bad. He was so bad, and then after the Bryce Mitchell fight, he's like he's gonna KO everyone. It's recency bias. It's complete recency bias. I think Lerone Murphy is going to absolutely put it on Josh Emmett here. I like him a lot to do it. So yeah, I like Lerone Murphy to get it done. And maybe even a better way to play Lerone. I'll talk about this again. Sig strikes. I think significant strikes is going to be Lerone Murphy all day. All day. He lands a bunch of significant strikes in fights. You can trust him that. And that's kind of part of why he's such a good minute winner. He can hit hard. He can also hit a lot. He's really good at mixing it up as well. So yeah, Lerone Murphy. Love me some Lerone. Am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. What about Lerone Murphy? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Does feel like he needs a bigger performance to get a title shot or something like that. I mean, Ilya got a title shot off beating Josh Emmett. I guess Lerone thinks he can get something like that. Yeah, just mind your P's and Q's, Lerone. I think he's got it in the bag. I wish I didn't bet the money line as I did, but I'll live. Yeah, I like Lerone to win. Let's leave it at that. So, there we go. Those are my picks. Let's go over each of the fights and talk about which specific props I like for significant strikes and more takedowns. Vanessa Demopoulos, Talita Alencar. Alencar more takedowns, Demopoulos more significant strikes. I think I like that a lot. But Talita Alencar more takedowns. Actually, let me look at that line. That has to be like nasty because I think that's kind of a lock, to be honest with you. Minus 1,000. Yeah, that's kind of fair. More 6 strikes, Demopoulos, though, if it plays out how we think it does. Martin Budai, Uran. I don't know. More takedowns, Budai, probably. More takedowns, Budai, but more 6 strikes, I wouldn't even want to touch that. More takedowns, Budai, I would lean. Victor Henry, Pedro Falcao. I lean Falcao to get more takedowns just because I don't think Victor Henry's really going to be pursuing any in this matchup. But more significant strikes, Victor Henry's got that in the bag, I think. Victor Henry's going to out 6 strike Pedro Falcao pretty highly. Pretty likely. Loma Lukbunmi, Estela Nunes. Yeah, more takedowns, Loma. That's very, very likely. You're either going to avoid, your Scott's going to hit. More 6 strikes, it's probably Loma. Yeah, it hurts my soul. But I will be betting Estela Nunes, like I said. Very small, but I will be looking at that. As I said in my breakdown, I think Reese McKee, more takedowns. I like that a lot. I think I like that because I think it's either he gets a takedown or no takedowns happen. And Daniel Frunza, I don't know. More 6 strikes, I'm not sure. I don't want to touch more 6 strikes in that fight. Diana Barbosa, Diana Belbitsa. More significant strikes, Barbosa. More takedowns, Barbosa. You can parlay more takedowns, Diana Barbosa with everything. That's not missing. You're not going to lose any money on that. I mean, probably shouldn't because you won't get nothing from the odds, but you know what I mean. Valentine Finney, probably Finney more takedowns. Just being honest, he's probably going to get at least one. But I think as the fight goes on, party will be questioned. 6 strikes. Valentine might be sneaky there. I'm actually curious what the 6 strikes odds are on Valentine. I think that's like kind of sneaky, and I'd probably put a little bit on that. Plus 140. I don't hate that. So I think that's an okay look at Valentine. Luis Gurule, Ode Osborne. Gurule more 6 strikes. Oh yeah. More takedowns. Ode's more willing to go for takedowns, though. That's the thing. So I kind of want to pass on more takedowns because if Gurule decides to shoot takedowns in this fight and be really smart, that it's going to be him easy. But if he doesn't, maybe Ode just gets one and Gurule just gets back up, no problem. That's very possible. So more 6 strikes, Gurule, I like a lot. Not so interested in takedowns. Gerald Mearshart, Brad Tavares. I think it might be a better way to play Brad Tavares. More significant strikes. I think he's going to outstrike GM3. And maybe if GM3 has a magical comeback as he does in round 3s, you'll be covered because GM3 will still have been outstruck by Brad Tavares. And they'll just look for a positional like submission or something like that. So, yeah. I do like Tavares to win, though. And more takedowns. GM3 is going to be the only one going for takedowns. GM3. But I don't think that's going to even matter. Romy is trying nothing. I don't like anything here. Maybe Lee more takedown, but I don't like anything. I don't like anything there. Brito, Sabatini, probably Sabatini takedowns. I don't see Brito shooting any takedowns. 6 strikes, I kind of don't want to touch that. Probably Brito, but that's a pass for me. And Lerone Murphy. Josh Emmett, more significant strikes. I like Lerone Murphy a lot there. And more takedowns. Lerone Murphy's probably going to be the only one shooting any takedowns. So, yeah. That's what I think. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. You can check me out at betme.tips on Champ Bets. And, yeah, we're going to be talking about UFC 314 next week. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Super hyped for that card. I'm going to be there in person, which means I'm not going to be really betting that card. I do have one bet in particular that I'm going into that card with. I'm sticking with. And it's on the main event. So, yeah, very, very excited about that. And we'll get into that next week. And I'm probably going to make it earlier because I'm not going to be filming it while I'm in Miami. I'm not going to be doing that. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. Have a great one. Can't wait.